Hey, Professor Patel, how's it going? My name is Matt Chan. I'm currently enrolled in your Biz 464 class. And today I'm super excited to share with you my final dashboard. So without further ado, let me share my screen right now. So to introduce the data set to you, I went on Kaggle and I found a data set that compiled the last 50 years of temperature data. And each year's data is based on the previous year's data. So for instance, 1980s surface temperature change is based off of 1979's. Jumping right into it, the first KPI I had right here was a global temperature increase. I had to create a separate column in my CSV file and calculated the average of all the different years' temperatures into one. And I found that on average in the past half a century, there has been a 0.597 degree Fahrenheit increase over the last 50 years. The second KPI, it's a record temperature rise. And I found that the year that had the largest temperature rise was in 2020, with an increase of 1.54 degrees Fahrenheit. And we can see right here that's directly connected to Cuba. So Cuba was that one country that had a 1.54 degree increase in 2020. So that was the highest temperature increase there. The heart and soul of my dashboard itself is this interactive map. So on top, we have the measure values that shows the scale going from blue, the cold, to red, orange, to the warmest. So you can interact with the map any way you want, see each country's global surface temperature change. It can even change the years as well, using the slider or these two buttons, left and right arrows right here. So for instance, you can see Oceania or Australia had a 1.145 degree Fahrenheit increase in 2016. Right to the right of this, we have the warming Earth. So, just to give a visualization of how the Earth has, increased in temperature over the last 50 years, I have a line chart that graphs each point right here, and it shows an upward trend with some years like 2020 reaching up to 1.54 degrees Fahrenheit, and years in the past only increasing 0.95, 0.23, and even some negative years as well. Like 1971, where we had a minus 0.19 degree Fahrenheit decrease in temperature. And the last section I have right here, I thought was a really interesting, portion of my dashboard. It shows right here the top 15 gainers and losers in temperature. And this is important to the narrative of climate change. It's not just global warming. It's also a conversation of and an issue of certain countries losing temperature, getting colder as well. So we have right here the top 15 gainers were Cabo Verde, Mongolia, Gambia, Mauritania, Senegal, Finland, Austria, Guinea-Bissau, Liechtenstein, Sweden, Morocco, Estonia, Belarus, Germany, and Switzerland. We see right here the top 15 losers were the Solomon Islands, Micronesia, Costa Rica, Marshall Islands, Rwanda, Sudan, South Sudan, Yemen, Tokelau, Singapore, Falkland Islands, Niue, Nauru, Turks and Caicos, and the Pitcairn Islands. I was going on a map just to see where all these countries were. And what I found is that most of them were actually based around the equator. And what this shows is that, and as we know from research as well, the ocean is one of the largest heat sinks and carbon sinks that we have on Earth. You would expect countries like China, who have these crazy smokestacks and buy a lot of carbon credits as well, to have the largest temperature increase. But what we actually see is that these countries very close to West Africa, North Africa, based around the equator, where a lot of the streams go, the heat streams go from the ocean, are the ones that are affected the most. Whether it be Cabo Verde, Gambia, Mauritania, but also countries like Rwanda and Sudan, South Sudan, Yemen. It seems like around the equator, what I found is specifically around Africa is where they are feeling the crux of this the most. So this is my dashboard here. I love to show this to you as a TWX file, and you can play around with yourself. But I think this is some really interesting stuff and really interesting analysis I've done right here. So can't wait to get your feedback on it, and I hope you enjoyed.